listening to Your Worst Friend with Shane and Matt, Going Deeper, Season 3. I'm joined today by my friend and co-host, Shane,
Yo.
and special guest, Chad. Chad was a guy we did an interview with a while back, and he played me on Real Radio. That was sweet of him. You can find Chad at Chad on Radio, I believe, on Instagram and Twitter.
And also because we mentioned
Go
I
ahead.
was in the industry, Mike Alexio XXX on Twitter.
Wonderful.
You can see my photos that look like they're taken by a toy camera.
Okay, there you go. And we're joined by a very special guest. I love her work. I also, more than just her pornography work, I like her work with veganism and how loud she is about it in a positive way. And I want to get into that, and we'll go back and forth between, like, what's the best carrot to eat, and, like, do you like blowing guys? Stuff like that. We're joined today by Lizzie Love. You can find Lizzie at on Twitter at It's Lizzie Love. That's ITSLIZZIELOVE. On Instagram, It's Lizzie Love. OnlyFans, Lizzie Love. YouTube, Lizzie Love. It's LizzieLove.com. And you can check out her, is it a vegan-based podcast?
Yes.
A vegan-based podcast, Lizzie Love's Kitchen. It was a fun little show. I was listening to one of the episodes. We were eating vegan sushi. Lizzie Love, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm very excited.
Can we start by asking, how did you initially get into the sex work industry? Was it camming? Was it stripping? Was it immediately like porn? What are we talking about?
So I started off with camming. I honestly didn't know what camming was, for the longest time, until I saw an episode of Workaholics where they had a cam girl kind of theme. And I was like, what is this? Because I had always kind of been interested in stripping, but I didn't really want to do in-person stuff. So it just kind of blew my mind, and the rest is history.
Yeah, sure. Can I ask, what was your first scene, or who was it with, or what type of scene, or if you could just describe it a little bit for me?
Yeah, my first scene ever was with Net Video Girls. It was a lot of fun. They flew me out to Beverly Hills. It was a very fancy feeling experience. I had never experienced anything like that. And I stayed in a really nice hotel, and then it was just a boy-girl scene. Kind of like a casting couch type deal.
Casting Couch HD, right? I think
yes.
is their subsite.
Yes.
We interviewed a girl last night who was shot with them before, and from what she described as far as the whole Net Video Girls network and everything, they seem like, I now watch, some article's going to come out that they're actually horrible people behind the scenes, but they sound like total good guys. Like they almost tried to talk her out of it. Like they were like, hey, look, you have to understand, this is on the internet forever. And it's going to live forever, and this is the life you're committing to. And if you want to go home, I have no problem with that. So were they cool with you in that sense too?
Oh yeah, they were amazing. It was the best first scene experience I could have ever asked for. They told me even if I meet the guy that I'm going to do the scene with and I'm not feeling it, I can go home and they'll still pay me in full.
Sure.
So,
I think they also, and I pointed this out last night to Shane, he's going to get sick and tired of hearing it. I think they have the hottest single shot, their signature shot in all of porn. And that's you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Lizzie,
She does.
no?
She
I
have any
mean, maybe. I mean, they have a lot of hot shots. I'm not sure which ones.
Obviously, and if you're on it, for sure, they're all hot. But what I
I'm
was
so
implying,
sick of hearing it, Matt. I'm actually, I actually tried to recreate it last night. After you and I talked about it. It's not easy to pull off right, but I think I got it. I just need to get the lighting right.
Okay, fair enough. That is the head-on doggy style with the ivy in the background.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's their signature shot at this point, and I don't know. I like it. I enjoy it. I think it's a. You don't necessarily see all the graphicness that you see in regular porn. I mean, they cut back and forth. You do. But oh God, I sound like a real sociopath saying this. You really see the joy on the girl's face, and yeah.
I think
I don't know.
It's better when you know they're enjoying it.
Yeah, sure. Jeffrey Dahmer said the same thing. Chad, do you have any questions here for Lizzie?
I just want to ask, first scene, did they reach out to you, or were you trying to get a scene reaching out to them?
So I was almost with an agent, OC Modeling. I didn't officially sign with them, but they're the ones who connected me with Net Video Girls.
And now you're with Next Level, I believe, which is
Yes.
another one of the huge agencies. Yeah, I tried getting an agency at first and just unreturned calls. So you just did you just end up applying on their website and they reached back to you?
Yeah, I got really lucky. I mean, I applied to like a million different agencies, honestly. And yeah, Next Level is the only one that got back to me. And I feel very lucky because I
Yeah,
love them.
they're great talent. They have Stormy Daniels is signed with them, and just other top porn stars. So it's a great way to, because some girls go in without an agency. It's a great way to start your career, I imagine.
Oh, it really is.
I don't want to be rude, Chad. You're saying you didn't get a response from them and Lizzie did. Could it be possibly that you look like Shane and I, Chad, and Lizzie looks like that?
I was wondering about that myself.
Possibly one of the things that could have affected. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there, just spitballing a little.
Well, you know what? I'm not sure what it was. I've lost more weight recently than I did back then, but I will say it was just an assumption, a wrong assumption that I had, that porn is just some kind of thing that's, let me just write an email and then start my career up. No, it's not that easy. It's not even close to being that easy. It is like going to college for a real job and trying to network on LinkedIn and sending out 100 and hoping to get one. It's like that. It's not like just, sending one to you have a career.
What about the headshot, Chad? Were you wearing the headband in your headshot?
I was
Were you going your full Grateful Dead fucking touring with them roadie look, or was it more like, hey everyone, I'm Chad, look at me?
I recently lost a bunch of weight.
It was just shirtless pics in my bathroom. I mean, I have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I get it. I get it now. Yeah, we understand.
Toilet lids up in the background. You got Perp Plus on the
fucking
counter behind
little like black and brown curly hairs just like scattered on the counter.
This was what I applied with.
Okay, Chad, we got it.
That's not it.
Cool.
That's not what it is.
All right, hey guys, there's a hot girl in the room here. If we could just be fucking cool for a second. Now let me talk about something sexy. Veganism. How long have you been a vegan, Lizzie?
I've been vegan for over 14 years.
Wow.
Damn.
Okay. Now, for you, was it just how does it start? Some people do it for the animals, some people do it for health, some people just don't like meat. Yeah, religion. How'd it start for you?
It was kind of a lot of little things, planting seeds over the years. Like when I was younger, I remember I had like a research paper about like veganism, and I learned a lot through that. And I had some like vegetarian neighbors. So I was kind of like curious about it throughout my life. But the thing that really set it off was I was a fan, and I still am a fan of this like YouTube creator named D Fizzy, who was talking about this YouTube video called Meet Your Meat. And I was really curious about it. So I watched it. It's like a slaughterhouse video. And after that, I was like, well, I'll give it a try. Like, let's just see what happens. And after that, I mean, it just stuck. I did a bunch of research and I never went back.
So why veganism, over vegetarianism? Is it simply because of like dairy farms and things like that? Or is it some greater principle?
So for me, I actually did go vegetarian for a year before I went vegan. And I was pretty content with it, but I read this book called Eating Animals. And before I could even finish the book, I went vegan. Just learning about even free range chickens only have the size of a piece of paper of space to like move around.
Sure.
It just made me really sad. So I love animals. I don't want to contribute to any of that.
See, I went full honest to God vegan for 30 days before, and I felt like more bloated because I realized I was eating more bread and stuff. But that's fine, whatever. No one wants to hear about that. Here's the thing I never understood about vegans, though, especially when it comes to the animal rights stuff. I totally understand if we're talking about factory farming milk or factory farming chickens, eggs, and whatever. But what if you have you live on a farm area where there's just some sweet cow that likes to get milked? you know, as all people do.
And a bunch of chickens needing milking.
And a bunch of chickens who are just dropping eggs
egging.
off. And then you have like a honeybee thing, and they're like, please take our honey. And you're
Oh,
just
and they
trying to
produce
get
so
rid
much
of
of it.
You're trying to get rid of it, and you won't take it because you're like, no, I have principles. Is there anything, could you ever go to a farm and see like a pot, like, I guess you wouldn't want to break it now, almost like an alcoholic who doesn't want to break a streak, but like, could you ever go to a farm and like see a nice chicken being pet by a little girl, and like the chicken pushes the egg over, and you'd be willing to eat that, or no?
No, I mean, for me with chickens, like I had a friend who had some like backyard chickens and was like offering me some of their eggs too. And like, it doesn't really matter to me how happy the chickens are, because when you take their eggs, they usually will, like, if the egg doesn't turn into a chicken, they will eat it and it will give them nourishment. So if you take their eggs, their bodies will be forced to produce more of them, and it'll make them more deficient in nutrients and stuff, which will make them die faster. So I don't really want to take their nutrients from them, even if they're living a happy life.
That's fascinating. I wonder if human women are missing something, because the egg is the chicken's menstrual cycle.
Yeah.
So maybe women are missing out on something by not consuming those lost nutrients every month.
I mean, maybe.
Ugh, that just
You
turned
have
my
someone
stomach.
who eat their placenta, right?
Yeah.
It takes like 9 months to make one of those
That
things.
vegan? is cum vegan?
Yeah, it's consensual.
Yeah.
Okay, so that actually, Chad set that up. Good question. I'm a fan of your work that you did with Asiani, those sites. Okay. First off, let me backtrack. Do you think Chad could be a porn star? You don't have to be mean, but I'd prefer if you were.
I mean,
Got my shirtless pics.
No. We don't need to see any more pics, Chad. We got it.
I
Just seen the
think
bandana.
from what I've seen on the internet over the years, I truly believe that anybody can be a porn star.
Sure.
It takes a lot of work.
Sure.
But I think that anybody can. I mean, there's a niche for literally everything. So
Sure.
I think if you
Sweaty
want it
guys
enough,
with
you can.
headbands.
Even guys with headbands could probably be porn stars too. So now, is like Chad kind of your type? Like, would you want Chad in a scene with you, or no? Like, is he not your type?
For me, like when it comes to my type, I really have to learn a lot about a person to decide whether or not they're my type. I don't go just based off of like physical appearance.
Yeah, Matt, stop being.
I meant more just in terms of
a
more a scene than like, you know.
With a scene, I
partner.
will fuck anybody.
Wow. All right. There's the clip for the preview, by the way. Okay. Wonderful. Chad, can you tell me what site specifically did you shoot for when you shot?
Asiani. I worked for Asiani Productions, which I hear Lizzie did.
Chad, just answer the question straight out. What site did you shoot for?
My site was Glory Hole Secrets.
Chad, could you tell me the performer you worked with on Glory Hole Secrets?
I don't know. Let me see. I think
Chad,
I
it's okay. The bit's run its course. Chad, could you let me know the performer you worked with on Glory Hole Secrets?
Lizzie Love.
Nice.
Chad is someone I met on like Reddit. We were talking about, podcasting.
It was Reddit.
And he was super interested in this, and he was like, yeah, I shot a scene, and he let me know it was with this beautiful girl, Lizzie Love. So then I started downloading all your stuff, and obviously I fell in love with you too. And I was like, you know what? We've booked some big names before. Let me try and get this girl. Thank you very much for coming on, Lizzie. Chad has worked with you in the past, and I thought that would be a fun little thing. Chad, do you have any questions for Lizzie? And don't say something weird like, what would you like for Valentine's Day? Because we're not trying to push that kind of narrative,
No, the only thing I have to say is I wish I could have met you after. The email they sent before was like, we usually like the guys to leave right after because we have to clear the stage to shoot the next scene, which is Bang Cream Pie. And some other guys left early. So I left. I never got to actually meet you, but yes, you have sucked my dick and swallowed my cum before.
Yeah, that's so funny. I always think about that scene because I have no idea like who like most of the people in that scene even were.
So let me ask you, is that more of a turn on for you, or is that just a neutral type thing? Like, I've never liked Glory Hole specifically because it's not really my thing until I saw these Glory Hole Secrets, gloryhillswallow.com, stuff like that, where it feels more real. Like I understand it is produced and it's a studio and this and that, but it has a feel to it where it like, feels more real. And then the taboo kicks in. It's like, this chick might not even know who this guy is. And now you're both confirming for me that at least that aspect of
Not
it is
fake.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a turn on for you at all or no?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, I love trying new things. I feel like I don't really have any specific fetishes, but if I did, it would be like trying new things. So I mean, I'd never done a glory hole in real life. And I love that I could do it in like a safe way with like tested talent. So it was cool to be able to experience that.
Okay. Yeah. So, but then he also mentioned that you shot your second scene with Asiani back to back that day,
Yes.
right? What I mean, just what are you going home? How many ice packs do you have on you when you're going home? Like on your knees?
I was fine.
Everything?
Like
Yeah?
yeah, it was crazy. Like that day, I mean, there were some other scenes that have probably made me more sore than that day. I don't know. Maybe I was just like so wet and ready for it. I did have a little bit of a stomach ache because I think I swallowed like 16 loads of cum within a couple of hours. So a little bit of a stomach ache, but that's about it.
Understandable. Do you have
Yeah.
to use like bread or sawdust or something to kind of soak that up in between?
No, I raw dogged it.
That's like, I think they did a Fear Factor where someone had to drink like this much of, I think for Fear Factor, they did like goat cum.
Oh
But
my god.
you gotta think about that. That's like that, probably like this much of cum. Like that would have an effect on your stomach.
Yeah.
Now, Lizzie, goat cum not vegan, correct?
No.
Not
What-
at all.
Borderline like
It's milk.
very
Bestiality.
Yeah.
All right.
different time.
So we always play this little game when we interview girls, and it's called SAC. Now, let me explain it to you. SAC stands for Shit Animals Kids. And that's because early on when we were interviewing girls, we were saying, what is a scene you would take a discount to do because you're so interested in it? And what is a scene you would never do regardless of the price? Inevitably, the first season of women would say like, well, I wouldn't fuck a kid on camera. We were like, yeah, no, we're aware. Like, no, we got it. And the girl's like, I wouldn't blow a dog. And you're like, yeah. No, I get it. So we've excluded shit animals and kids because no, not interested. Thank you. You said before you don't have any specific fetishes, but is there something that you would want to tackle and say it was slightly below your normal rate? You might still be like, you know what? I'm going to do that. Whether it's a type of scene, a niche, a performer you want to work with, a director. Is there anything that kind of interests you and piques your interest?
I mean, I've always been a fan of watching like the threesomes with Small Hands and Owen Gray. I'm weak for those, so I would do that for free.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh.
He's married to Joanna Angel, right?
Talk about a
Yeah.
power couple.
Yeah, I would love to have her on. I've
We
been
love
in-
her Beyonce and
Did you know
Jay-Z.
Jessie Jane is still making porn for Jules Jordan, and she fucked Small Hands?
Oh,
Yeah,
I did not know that. Fun fact, Chad over there.
I only
I
fuck
appreciate
Mr.
I
Hands.
keep up with what they're producing in the industry.
Yeah. And then Lizzie, what's something that you're just like not interested in ever? Again, excluding the big ones, the Mount Rushmore of disgusting things.
That's hard. I really am open to so many things. I think
See,
I'm
most
working-
girls say it's hard, and they'll go like, "I'm open to so many things," and then I'll name something, and they'll just go, "Oh yeah, no, like I wouldn't do that." So let's marinate on this one. Let's
You like
really.
do I like what?
Piss, pee,
Yes. Yeah.
urine.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Oh, cool.
I
yeah.
think honestly, like, are you familiar with the performer? I think his name is Dredd.
Oh
He's
yeah,
a giant dick.
Yeah.
I could not do an anal scene with him. I would die.
yeah. Neither could I don't think. Yeah,
I'll try
no,
it.
okay.
But I've heard that anal is almost easier because the vagina is just like a set size, basically. I'm a guy, so I don't know.
Assholes stretch infinitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to practice first.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know. I've been trying. I really don't. I don't think I could take it.
But you are open to anal in general for scenes, though.
Depending on the dick size.
Fair answer.
Yeah.
So all right. Now how many scenes total do you think you've shot?
Ooh, I have a big list. It's probably been like maybe 30.
Okay. All right. You said net video goes. Is there any specific site that you want to tackle, or has everything kind of come to you that you've really wanted to do in the first place?
I would love to shoot with Brazzers.
There you go. Let's tag them in this. There you go.
Yeah, they're at the top of my list. I've always dreamed of working with them. Outside of that, I really want to do something with Adult Time. I did like a solo thing for them near the beginning of the pandemic. Actually did 2 videos for them. But yeah, I would love to do like an in-person scene. And also Alterotic, I did a solo video with at the beginning of the pandemic, and I would love to do like a tattoo scene because they do like tattoo scenes.
Okay.
You
And so
mean
I'd
like
love
you're
to give you
getting
a
a tattoo?
Yeah.
Wow.
Shane, we
Like
can't really hear you that
real,
well.
they're actually
all.
like, it's not a fake one.
It's a real tattoo.
Oh.
Wow.
So I'd love that. That'd be fun.
What if it's just like a real shitty like squiggle line person?
No, it's like a real tattoo artist. Like it's somebody who like knows what they're doing.
Okay, but are you getting fucked while you're getting the
No,
tattoo?
no.
Okay. So you just get a free tattoo with it?
I think I'm just like naked when I'm getting tattooed, and then after I think I like suck off the artist or whatever.
Okay, you can do that at just a regular tattoo shop.
I think it'd be fun to have it on camera though.
Okay, all right. Well, they have iPhones too.
I saw a picture of you and I think Kira Noir, and it looks like you're on a set filming something professionally. Did that come out yet, or is that still?
Yes.
Oh, what was that for?
Yeah, that was for Adam and Eve. It's called Final Girl. It's actually one of my favorite scenes I've ever filmed. It was like a scripted feature. I think around an hour and 45 minutes long. It was so much fun. I love acting. I love scripted things. So it was a dream come true.
So that was my next.
Girl?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chad.
Oh, that was girl, or
Yes.
Ah.
Mhm.
Wow.
Now, have you always been attracted to girls, or was that something that came into porn?
I've always been attracted to girls. I've still never fucked a girl off camera, which is the most fucked up thing in the world. But
Sure.
yeah.
Okay.
fair.
All right. Now, let me ask you, because we get porn stars that have one of 2 ways of going about it. Either they were gung-ho and they lost their virginity at 14, or they were 21 years old in college, and then as soon as they did that, clicks and they just go, boom, I'm in. If you were to say one of those 2 closer to it, what do you think you'd be?
Definitely closer to the second. I was like 18.
So
when
did
I
you
lost
have
my
like
virginity.
did you have a reserved or a closeted childhood at all, or was it pretty open, pretty free?
I wasn't really reserved. There was just nobody that I was like interested in growing
Sure.
up, really.
Sure.
But yeah, I feel like I've always been a slut at heart. For sure.
Yeah,
That's
me
what we
too.
like to
I
hear.
get
That's
it.
the answer we look for. We ask that sometimes. You know, we kind of dichotomize it where it's like, are you a slut, or are you in this, you know, are you a whore or a slut is kind of how we look at it. You doing this for money or because you love dick? And
I don't put it that way. That way sounded so rough, like you were a dock worker. Like, hey,
I
so
mean-
sweetheart, are you a slut or a whore? How you put yourself? And you're like, Jesus. So the way I would say it, Shane, all due respect, would be out of these 3, how would you rank them? You're in porn for the money, the sex, the fame. If you would please rank those.
Number 1 would be. That's so hard. I feel
Right.
like it's all of them at once.
No,
They
it
all
can't.
That's a
go into
cop
each
out.
other.
No,
Yeah,
it can't.
no,
Okay,
you
so you
gotta-
said
one's
money,
gotta-
sex, or fame.
Yeah.
God, that's really hard because
the money's important, right? It is important that you're making a
It
living.
is.
You
for
gotta
sure.
put food
Yeah.
on your table.
But you also have to enjoy the
Vegan
sex.
food's
And
expensive.
the fame, you know that when you put out a vegan video and like 20,000 people see it, that's pretty fucking cool too.
I know. Oh, I mean, okay. That's
I don't know
hard
how this
because
will. Go ahead. I want
I'm
to
just
hear.
thinking like the fame could lead to money, which also leads to sex.
They all lead to the same thing.
I know.
Everything
That's
leads
why I want to choose all of them.
You're
That's
trying
like
to
how Adam
weasel.
Levine lives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're trying to weasel out of this. You can't. You got to rank them. One's got to be a percentage point higher than the other ones.
This is the hardest question I've ever been asked.
Well, that's a lot.
Okay. Number
You'll
one.
notice that I asked her if she would hook up with Chad earlier, and that was a much quicker answer than this one. I mean, sure, whatever. That was the answer, I believe.
Okay, so I feel like for this job specifically, the sex is probably the last one.
Oh,
Number 3, because the sex isn't the kind of sex I necessarily like have off camera as much, because I'm not like making out in porn. I love to make out. There's really like there's not really making out that much in the scenes that I've been in.
wow.
So I miss that a lot, and that's why I can't say that sex is the number one thing for me, because making out is like one of my favorite things. So
Okay.
If there was more making out in porn,
Sure.
then maybe that would be my number one.
I
So that's
don't
number
know.
3.
Have to
Okay.
set you up with John Legendary then.
Yeah.
Oh, does he like
His
making
scenes-
out?
He gets
Oh, yeah.
romantic. Yeah,
Oh,
real
yeah, I love
romantic.
that.
He's a real fucking sweetheart.
A lot of the
That's the
older
best.
porn was more romantic. Now, I mean, it was kind of more in the early 2000s, but we entered this kind of gonzo era, and we've never really exited it, I don't think.
Yeah, I like Muppet
Full
porn
Time is
too.
changing that kind of it, though.
Muppet porn.
Yeah.
Now, is Muppet porn vegan or no?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Muppet cum, yeah, because they're
Uh,
sentient. They can consent.
Chad does make a good point though, and I think you said this earlier. You like the acting aspect of this, right? Like you enjoy,
it.
you like the talk before the scene, and like, oh God, Lizzie, you're stuck in the dryer again. Oh, let me come help you get out of there. I have to tell you, and it's totally fine that you're not. I don't care about that one bit. I just need to see like Lizzie splayed out on a table, like ready to go, boys, bring it. I'm ready for the fame and the money. Sex doesn't matter to me because we don't kiss. But that's the great thing about porn. There's something for everybody.
Yes.
You want to find a 400-pound girl with one leg. I guarantee you there's an X videos channel of it somewhere.
Mhm.
I would know. It's saved to my
All of it.
favorites. Yeah. So all right, you have your OnlyFans, right? No, let me pause for a second. How did the pandemic affect your career? Did it slow down like to a halt? Did it make you focus more on independent content rather than like looking to book shoots or whatever? Or, how'd that affect you?
It was a wild ride. I mean, the first like kind of professional scenes that I had, I told you I was doing like solo scenes for some companies. That happened because of the pandemic, because they were looking for people to make content at home. So that was a really amazing opportunity for me that I don't think I would have had if the pandemic wasn't a thing. But outside of that, I mean, my biggest supporters at the time were like just kind of stopped supporting me. So my income was cut in half because of the pandemic.
Ooh.
It hurt pretty bad.
Wow. You know what, Shane? A question I never thought about asking is, do you girls, 1, follow, and 2, fear an upcoming economic recession when it comes to things like your OnlyFans or anything like that? Could we see a shift from girls So the girls we've spoken to so far have said things like, I want to go shoot a scene for Brazzers. And we're like, why do you want to shoot a scene for Brazzers? And they've said, well, it's great advertisement for my OnlyFans, right? Because they'll pay you a set amount and whatever, but however many eyes that gets on you are more potential, impressions to go over to your OnlyFans to sign up. I don't know how well you follow the financial markets. I don't know if you're sitting watching CNBC every morning like I am, but have you given that any thought? And what do you think what would you do? Would you, if your OnlyFans was cut in half, or any of your independent channels were almost cut in half, would you then attempt to go get more studio gigs? Would you pound social media harder and try and get some of those people back or new eyes on it? What do you think you would do?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something I think about, especially like after COVID hit really hard and realizing that things can change so quickly. For me, I think like just streaming like crazy is like kind of my backup. because that's where I started streaming, and that was carrying me for a long time. And it was fun. Yeah, but I moved into a place that had the worst Wi-Fi in the world, so I was kind of forced out of streaming.
Sure.
And yeah, it's something that I would go back to for sure if I needed to.
You don't think
I've
guys
heard
wanted
that
to look
the-
at like you don't think guys wanted to look at like a Minecraft blocky Lizzie Love, like, hi, look at me, everyone. Sorry, Chad,
Freezes
go
on a
ahead.
good shot.
Right at the
Yeah, yeah.
I've heard and I've kind of also seen by watching streams on Chatterbait, which is the biggest site. It seems that the tips come in faster and you make more money faster streaming rather than having an OnlyFans. Is that accurate in your experience?
I think it depends. I mean, some people need to really put in the hours to get a good schedule going so people know when they're live. Sometimes people can just randomly make a lot. It's like gambling, honestly,
Sure.
streaming. So
Sure. Yeah.
it could go either way.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you, what's it like when you're sitting there early on in your time in an empty room? Are you just like miserable? Are you just like fucking why? Because I've said it before. Shane and I, when we're downloaded in like 90 countries now at this point.
93.
Early on, our first 4 or 5 episodes, literally no downloads, none. And I'm pushing it out to my friends. I'm doing this, I'm that, all social media, this and that, nothing. Okay, but we were having fun doing it. It grew. You know, your audience will eventually show up. So
Mhm.
did you early on, like, I know new girls generally get a boost up to like the top, so it's not like you'll be empty right off the bat, but did you have empty days in your room where you were just like, fuck this shit, man, like, I don't want to do this?
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of days where I was kind of like, I would talk to myself for 3 hours. There would be like 100 people in my chat room, but nobody chatting. And that kind of drove me insane a little bit, honestly, like talking to myself for 3 hours and like trying to think of things to say. It was kind of fun sometimes because I would just smoke weed and like tell jokes or talk about veganism. I would be like, if you guys
There
want
you
me
go.
to shut up, then I will, but you have to chat. But
So-
right now you're going to sit here and listen to me talk about veganism.
That's a smart way to to spread your message. But I mean, but also like with guys doing that, observing, not chatting. I don't know if they were tipping and not chatting or just nothing, no interaction at all. But do you think that guys have like a hang up? I know like there's like these dudes who will just like send dick pics and just the most awful graphic messages. And then there's this other end of the spectrum, like you're talking about, you have hundreds of guys in there watching, being a part of it, but not interacting at all. Do you have like any middle ground? Is like it, or is it really just split between like pigs and simpy cowards?
I mean, there's some really amazing people that I've had in my chat rooms over the years. Like
Mhm.
I would look forward to going live just to like hang out and chat with them. So there's definitely a middle ground for sure.
So
Very
you would
cool.
have returning people who you like got to know, basically.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Nice.
It takes a while to come out of their shell.
Yeah.
There's literally no one in our listening audience that I would ever want to meet in real life. I mean, they are just monsters from what I've seen. And they can stay over there. I'm kidding. They're very nice and we enjoy them greatly. Yeah, okay. All right. So I don't know. All right, let me ask you this. Porn's out. It's banned. It's illegal. What are you doing with a career? Do you have a
Porn bans
background
too.
in something else? It'd be funny if she's like, "Oh, I'm certified to work in a slaughterhouse." So
No, I mean, I am a certified holistic health coach. So I think probably just like working in a wellness center. Or I mean, I was a videographer before I started doing this. So getting back into videography is an option. Maybe stripping if that's not banned along with porn.
no, it's just the porn. They don't care about the
Yeah.
stripping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prostitution's legal too, but
Yeah.
no
They
porn.
legalize prostitution. You just can't have a camera in front of it. That's this strange dystopian world I'm building in my head.
Videography. I have a film degree of an associate's myself
Wow.
in film, so you could get work behind the scenes if you ever wanted to as well. I'm sure.
Yeah, for headband Chad.
Stop. Chad rules. Look at
I should
the
have
girl
wanted-
that Chad is hooked up with, by the
Yeah,
way.
he
I'm
does-
not
he
saying
doesn't-
anything.
Yeah, this is actually over $100.
The headband?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Hermes.
Did you get it at a thrift store?
No, I got it at, which we're not saying where.
Right.
But I got it at where
At
I
a
work.
department store. Okay.
Yeah,
You
with
just
my
said a department store.
employee discount.
There you go. That's good stuff. I own nothing worth more than $9 clothing wise, because it's so okay, all right. So videography. Now tell me about your podcast. Tell me what you're trying to get out there. Is it just the joys of veganism? Before you do that, think on what's most important to you about your podcast while I plug your stuff. On Twitter, it's Lizzie Love. Lizzie is Lizzie. Love is just normal love, Love. So it's Lizzie Love. On Instagram, it's Lizzie Love. OnlyFans, Lizzie Love. YouTube, you can check her out, Lizzie Love. It's LizzieLove.com and Lizzie Loves Kitchen, which I wrote Lizzie's Loves Kitchen because I'm stupid, very uneducated and dumb. But make sure you check it out. So your vegan podcast now, is it a vegan podcast, or are you just a vegan who does a podcast? Like, are you going over specific things every week? Because I only listened to the one episode. It was fun. It was good.
Thank you for listening. Yeah, it is vegan centered. I mean, we do talk about other things, but veganism is like the main purpose of it. I just want to plant seeds of veganism everywhere.
You keep saying plant seeds. Do you have your own garden, or do you not have
No,
space
but I
for
want
it?
one. I want a garden so bad.
I know my wife and I are looking for a house, and like the most important thing to me is half an acre of land if I can get it, because I just want the nicest, sickest garden so I can grow my own shit and not worry about fucking whatever microplastics are in the ground and whatever else. But anyway, who gives a shit? Shane, did you have any questions? Chad, do you have any more questions?
Chad?
So, well, did we touch on, she has a YouTube channel where you do cooking demonstrations, right?
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
so that's part of my podcast. I have some of my podcast episodes there.
Sure.
My podcast has been through a couple of different versions. The first version was just me like camming and recording my live streams while I was making food and just talking about it and like talking to the chat. So I made a different episode or a different recipe every single episode, and I was trying something new every time that I'd never tried before, because I kind of wanted to spread awareness. Like, I am vegan, I'm also gluten-free, and I'm also allergic to walnuts and sesame seeds. So I wanted to just like show people that, hey, like, guess what? I made 60 different things that I'd never tried before, and I've been vegan for over 14 years. Like, for all the people who think, oh, what do I eat? Grass and sticks. Like, no, there's so many different things that you can eat.
Oreos are vegan.
Yes, they are.
Cool.
Look at those.
I like vegan
stuff.
cheese. I find it's like a lot gooier and mushier,
I don't like vegan
slimier.
cheese. No.
I like it.
What's vegan cheese made of? I really don't know.
Cashews sometimes.
Walnuts, right?
Sometimes
Something.
walnuts. Yeah, like just
I don't know.
different shit you could just mash up and spray white.
That's okay. Very good. Now, have you considered mashing? Because I guess on YouTube you weren't naked, obviously, right? It'd be funny if we ratted her out and Big Tech just booted her for it. They had never caught it before.
Yeah.
Why don't you consider, you have a videography degree, or you are qualified for videography at least, do like a naked one and throw it up on one, because I'll tell you what, I think X Hamster had it a few years ago, where it was like a reality show of girls trying to get into porn, and they would
Oh yeah, that's
Asa
fucking
Hero.
rule.
Dude,
Yeah,
it was a
Mhm.
good
I loved it.
show, right? And like I would
Mhm.
watch it from work, and sure, I'd have to hide my screen, but like it was an entertaining show. I would love to see, like, obviously nothing with hot oil, because that would be a real fucking tragedy. But like, Lizzie Love naked, kind of just walking around the kitchen, cutting stuff up, showing you how you can make some kind of cool carrot cabbage like casserole or whatever we're doing.
Cucumber.
Consider that,
Insertions.
diversify. Insertion. we're gonna on today's episode, we're gonna pickle this cucumber. Think on that one for a second,
I
everybody.
did actually
Oh,
have
yeah,
a
it's the
topless cooking show.
pH issue.
And what happened? What happened to it?
It just kind of evolved. I mean, I do want to get back into it.
Mm-hmm.
I just right now, the place that I'm living, I can't film like naked things in my kitchen.
Why is it all made of
Um,
glass?
No, I have a person that I live with. and I like to
What are
be
they, a prude?
respectful. No, I just and I want it to be like a really super fancy like production too. So I'd want to like rent a kitchen and like
Sure.
get somebody to film it for me. So I do have plans for things like this, but I need to raise some more funds before.
Sure.
You know, I know what that's like. I've been trying to have sex with my wife lately, but my mother-in-law moved in.
Oh
No, everyone look up there. I do remember a site. There was one. I don't know if they still make scenes anymore, but it was called Cum Kitchen, which I think it's what
Ew.
kind of like we're talking.
Ew.
It's not as gross as it sounds.
Hey guys, guess what the topping on this souffle
Yeah, I'm not
is?
gonna eat there. Fuck, dude.
Hey guys, who wants some glazed carrots? No, thank
Yeah.
you. I'm good. I mean, I'd try it. Sure. You know, I'm not gonna be a prude, right, Shane?
Nah, don't be a fucking prude, man.
Yeah.
Try the cucumber.
Yeah. Ugh. So what is next? What's our next giant step, Lizzie? Because
Pickle now.
I'll be honest with you, I think you have some mainstream appeal to you. I think you're very pretty, but you also are intelligent, and you're not like, and this is not an insult to these girls at all. You're not like bimbo type pretty, like, you know, the long blonde hair and the big fake tits and everything else and whatever. You're kind of like natural girl next door pretty. And I think that definitely has mainstream appeal. So how do we take you from where you are now to the next step of, you know, whether it's more acting and bigger things? Have you ever auditioned for like any, I don't want to say real movies, but you know what I'm saying, outside of porn movies? Have you ever auditioned for anything like that? Are
John
you
Carpenter movie.
Yeah, have you ever auditioned for John Carpenter movies?
I actually had a movie audition yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
What type of
so-
movie do you know? You don't have to tell us anything about it, but
It was like, it's like a slightly raunchy, like, I don't know. It's not like horror, maybe like drama, kind of scary, I guess.
okay. What,
It's got like a
The
Lifetime.
John Carpenter movie.
Kind of like Lifetime-ish.
I don't like Lifetime. Oh my God. What did some man do to you in this movie?
I don't know if I could say anything about it.
No, you don't have to say anything about it. Don't worry. Our audience
You know
doesn't
it's good, though,
necessarily
when-
watch a lot of Lifetime.
I hope it's not a
You
reboot of that
have
one
an
where the girl
NDA,
gets
you
the
know it's a big
baseball
deal.
bat.
Just everyone talk at one time. Chad, you're up first.
Oh, just saying, you know it's good when you can't say anything and you have an NDA and you know that's a big deal.
Maybe she just maybe she has an NDA, or maybe they were just like, hey, don't fucking say anything if you want the role.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe she's just polite.
Basically,
Yeah, I'm
Maybe
just being polite right now.
she's like, I auditioned for this movie called The Sixth Sense. By the way, Bruce Willis is dead at the end. I'm like, okay, thank you. Shane, did you have something there?
I'm not gonna risk it because my fucking connection's being wonky.
No,
again.
go. You're good right now. Go. And then he hit mute.
Do you like
okay,
piss?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so she already said that.
Oh yeah.
That's
yeah,
all I've
true.
been thinking about ever since. I just
Okay.
been like, hey, just waiting, you know.
Now, are we talking pissy, pisser? Does it make a difference?
I'm not for either.
There you
What's
go.
what can I ask you? I'm gonna start asking all the girls this. Piss just ain't my thing. It's not. I don't have a problem with it either. If you like it, I'm not like shunning you and throwing a scarlet letter on you. A big red P. I guess it would be a yellow P.
P.
What is the appeal of it? Is it just the taboo nature? Also, piggyback that question. Remember, what do you like about it? Is there a vast difference between a vegan and a meat eater's urine?
Ooh.
I don't know because I haven't like compared them.
Would be great if she was like, no, I don't like fuck around with vegans though. They're kind of pussies. So like, I don't like. I don't
They
do
don't
that.
fuck right.
Yeah, like-
Vegan cum does taste better. though.
Okay, that
I
was
do
my
know
ne-
that.
That was
That
my
makes
next
sense.
question as well. Yes, so you can definitely taste a difference in that. Now the problem is, what if they're eating like a ton of asparagus?
I don't know. I haven't like eaten anyone's cum after they've eaten a ton of asparagus. As
You
far as
don't
I
ask
know.
what they ate for the last 7 days after you swallow guys' cum.
You don't pucker your lips and be like, that tastes like carrots. You had carrots
No.
yesterday. Okay.
I'm really into carrots. Today.
I was that cringy guy in high school where my mom wondered why I was asking her to buy me like 6 packs of pineapple juice.
Oh.
What the fuck would you want? The fuck
Oh,
is up?
To flavor his own
know that
loads.
pineapple
Yeah.
juice makes you
Oh yeah, that's stupid, dude. I stopped drinking my own cum after the first time.
Chad was like, I need a 6-pack of pineapple juice, and his mother's like, you go to an all boys school. He's like,
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, guys, do you have any more questions? I am all tapped out, and my white balance is so bad. I look red. I look psychotic.
You could use some white on your face.
Okay. Just do you have any other questions for the beautiful Lizzie Love today?
I'm tapped out as well, but thank you for answering my piss questions. I really enjoyed
You're
that.
welcome.
From now on, you have to thank the girls we interview for that. Thank you very meekly and kind of like, thank you very much for answering my question on piss. I really appreciated that.
Only
Wait,
if
you
they
never-
like piss.
Yeah, you never
If they
answered.
disappoint me.
Is it just the taboo of it? Is it like you actually like the flavor or whatever?
I personally so it depends on the person. Like I will do piss stuff with a person I'm very into, but I have to be like very into you. It's more of like I love to please. And I will do the dirtiest things. I'll do whatever you want, kind of thing.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a good answer. I like that.
I once had this manager. Her
Maybe
name
some
was
slut
Jen.
after all.
I had a manager named Jen, and she said the sexiest thing to Javen and I, my friend Javen and I, one night. And we were like, come on, what's your thing? What's your kink? And blah, blah, blah. She goes, here's the thing. I like something so very specific done to me that I will do whatever a guy wants. All you have to do is take care of that one thing for me. And I mean, there is no limit to what I will do for a guy. And I can tell you at work in my khakis, I got 4 hard inches right away. I was so, like, you want to know what that is. But I like that attitude. I like, it's like, hey, I'm a fucking goer. All right, I'll
Mhm.
do it. But I also like the give and take. Like, you also have to give a little bit back to me too.
Oh, is there
I like
kink?
that.
Excuse me. Correct me if I'm wrong. Your manager told you this?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
came up how?
We just used to, we were in a coffee clutch, me and Javen and Jen. It was a lot of fun. We called ourselves MJJ, and like we would get Starbucks together and
You're
kind
just
of like
that close.
chit chat. Yeah. I'm very easy to talk to because I'm non-threatening. That's what it is. People are like, oh, you're just like a kind of like a fat loser with a bad goatee. I'm like, yeah. That's it. That's me. I wish I had a cool Hermes headband. I don't. I'm poor. Unlike you, Chad. You rule. I fucking love Chad, and I love that Chad was able to take a beating today because we love him and he's a good dude.
Compliment.
Lizzie, thank you very much for joining us today. Unless Chad, did you have any other questions?
Thank her for swallowing your cum.
I did not have, it's not a question, but I'm just saying I am so excited to again go to the XBiz X3 this January. I want to let everyone listening to the podcast know that if you're close to Los Angeles, there is a new porn convention that started last year and it's coming back. So that is the next big thing I'm looking forward to. And
there you go. Lizzie, last question. Do you go to those conventions at all? Anything? Like, I'm going to be Exotica next weekend, but do you ever go to these things? Do you stop by them? Do you have any advice for me? Like, I was going to, I have a press pass, so I was just going to like put my hand up and kind of Heisman people who are waiting in line and being like, I'm important, move,
Oh, no.
move, I am important. And then go up to the girls and go, I'd like a personal interview with you. Is that the wrong approach to this? Or
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
All right.
it
Then I won't do that then.
Good.
I'll be chill about it then.
Yeah, definitely be chill.
Yeah. All right. Lizzie Love, thank you very much for joining us today. Make sure you go out and follow her. If you're listening to this on audio, all the links are in the description. If you're watching this on YouTube, all the links are in the description. And if you're watching this on X videos, make sure you listen to it real loud because they just put a whole set of new rules in that says you really can't put any plugs on screen, which is crazy. Lizzie Love on Twitter, it's Lizzie Love. Instagram, it's Lizzie Love. OnlyFans, Lizzie Love. YouTube, Lizzie Love. It's LizzieLove.com and Lizzie Love's Kitchen, the podcast. Get some cool vegan shit going. Read about like plants and stuff, and then listen to her show, and you'll really enjoy it. Lizzie Love, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been fun.